Capricorn, you've tuned into the Mixtape Mystic, your metaphysical mixtape for higher consciousness. This is a general reading for December 2022 for the sign of Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements. If this doesn't resonate with you, then you might want to tune into the frequency of one of your other three placements that I either have posted on this channel or will be posting on this channel shortly. If you'd like to book a personal reading or breathwork session with me, you can do so via the link in the description box. I've cleansed the cards, I've cleared the space, and I've been thinking about you, Capricorn, and your beautiful energy. Some of my favorite people are Capricorns, and yeah, I'm a Taurus sun, so earth signs all of the way. So without further ado, Capricorn, let's mix it up, see what the universe has for you. When I was meditating on your energy, I got the visual of what are those, there's a specific name for those goats that climb up the mountain, like those really steep mountains, and they just put their tiny little hooves on those edges, and they take one step and they kind of incrementally up, up, climbing this mountain. They have so much poise and dignity, and I'm sure that sometimes they fall, which is so tragic, but I was just really sensing for you, thinking of Capricorn energy and the horns and the hooves and just the way that y'all are, the beautiful way that y'all are. I just felt like you had this slow steadiness about you where you're calculating your next steps and whatever that looks like for you. Take it how it resonates, but you gotta be kidding. This has shown up in every reading so far. And it's like, I'm starting to question, like, am I just doing the same reading for all of the earth signs? Very possibly, because I've only done Taurus and Virgo so far. And it's coming up for you guys too. So let's see what this is about. But yeah, just this sense of you really taking the time to figure out very, very specifically what your next step is going into December. And maybe that's a good caution. I'm not really picking up on it as a bad thing, as like a scarcity thing or a fear-based approach. To me, it just feels wise. It feels mature. It's very deep, high pinnacle energy. Just the things that you as a Capricorn have mastery over. I feel like you're exhibiting some of that mastery this month, but we're not getting much from the pop outs, so I'm gonna do a cut here. I hope that you're staying warm. I'm in Michigan, Capricorn, and it's very, very snowy. We had quite the tundra come in here. All right. Look at this cup energy that you have coming in. That was also a big thing with Virgo's reading. That's also a card Virgo had. So what I'm doing here, Capricorn, is we have these 5 cards here. This is going to be your incoming energy for the month, or potentially at least. This is going to be what your focus should be on. The unexpected, maybe your blind spot, it's the way I like to think of it. Advice from spirit, and then the potential outcome. And what we're going to do is pull clarifiers for each of these, just so I can get a bigger picture of sort of what's going on with these energies. I'm already sensing that with the Wheel of Fortune, it's very much the same message that Virgo and Taurus got, which is, the ending of a cycle. You're coming to a culmination of things that I feel like what you're stepping into, Capricorn, in December 2022, and then really leading just heavily into and strongly into 2023 is kind of reaching a new tier of the way that you experience your day-to-day reality. And maybe it's at a level that you never thought was possible. But what happens when we go through a cycle and the cycle begins again is there's sort of this natural leveling process that happens. And it's just a beautiful thing. You know, it's taking another lap around, but not starting from scratch. It's starting from experience. And I think that's going to be a big message for you with this. I'm feeling like from the bottom of the deck, I'm supposed to pull that clarifier. Let's see what else we have here. I see one that's trying to pop out. Spirit, please clarify the Four of Cups for Capricorn. This is really interesting. Some of you might be experiencing like a sort of internal resistance that you maybe can't get to the bottom of. I'm picking that energy up from the cards, just like there's not a lot that's wanting to come out. Sort of this stuck energy. But I think when it does come out, it's going to come out. Because look at this, you got two aces in a row. You have the Hierophant, that's the Taurus card. Definitely a lot more earth energy showing up. All right. Okay, so Capricorn, the incoming energy that you have for December is, like I was talking about, this culmination of a cycle, but it's clarified by the Ace of Pentacles. And all of the Ace cards, I mean, they represent many different things, but one of the things that they all represent across the board is a new beginning, a new start. So for me, that's exactly what I was just mentioning a second ago. This is going to be, the energy that you're coming into in December. And again, I feel like it's a larger overarching energy that's going to lead you through probably the majority, if not all of 2023, is this big, it's not just a page turn, it's the closing of a book. Is really what it is. And it's the starting of another one. I mean, it's that big. It's that monumental, where everything that you're stepping away from in life as you know it, you're having to not only step away, but step so far away that you're not even within the same materials or the same dust jacket of that book, right? You're not in the same, printed on the same parchment. You know, it's what you're starting is something entirely new. And look at this. This is beautiful. I don't often notice this, but when you see this, what's the name for it? My mind's saying a shrubbery arch. You know, when you look at this shrubbery arch, if anyone knows what those are called, please let me know in the comment box, because I really am spacing here. But there's a path here, right? And I'm sorry, I'm holding off to the side here. I'm trying to avoid the glare. Apologies for the glare, but there's a path that's cleared for you, Capricorn. And I think that's what a lot of this year has been for you, is the clearing, right? You've been clearing it. You've been making space. And now that you're making space, this Ace of Pentacles is coming in. That's a new beginning. It's going to be powerful for you. Your focus is the Four of Cups, clarified by the Ace of Cups. There's a lot of opinions about the different energies that are represented within the Four of Cups, but if a lot of the classical interpretation is going to be, being so focused on what you have that maybe you don't realize what's coming in for you, or another interpretation would be that this is sort of you're taking in an idea. These are ideas that you have materialized and taken action on, and manifested, and then this is a process of your expansion, right? And I feel like that's maybe has something to do with what some of you are experiencing, if that resonates. But I think as well what this is talking about, because there's this clarification of the Ace of Cups, which again, came up in the other Earth sign readings, both of them. This is the same hand, right? That's coming out. It's just coming out of nowhere. It's coming out of the cloud here. It's coming out of the cloud here. It's holding this cup. That's just like a double reinforcement for me that you have emotional fulfillment that's coming in for you this month as you're closing out this cycle. And what your focus needs to be is just really cultivating those things in your life that you are noticing are fulfilling you emotionally. I think a huge thing over the last couple of years that so many people have collectively been realizing is that emotional fulfillment is something that a lot of times we sort of just push down because we're trying to fulfill our physical needs. We're trying to, take care of our whether it's our family structures or hold down our jobs or whatever it is. And not a lot of people have historically gotten in touch with themselves over, well, am I allowing my emotional fulfillment, what emotionally fulfills me, to really be in the driver's seat here? And I think the last few years, everybody has been realizing that that's sort of a non-negotiable now. That's the new standard. Like, if it's not fulfilling emotionally, it doesn't matter. Like, that's where it has to start. And I think that that's the start of a really beautiful new era of us reintegrating the divine feminine energies. But I won't get too deeply. I don't want to tangent off really, but it's really, really beautiful focus. So focus, Capricorn, on what you are noticing is emotionally fulfilling to you. I think whatever it is that you're going through in life, you're trying to sort out, you're dealing with whatever, this is going to be your guiding light. What is fulfilling you emotionally, gravitate towards those things. Definitely a heavy focus on self-love. There could be other people involved, could be a new love coming in for you. You could take that if it resonates, but I feel like generally it's just your focus is finding those things. In what you don't expect or you don't see coming, the Queen of Cups clarified by the Hierophant. So when I think of the Queen of Cups, I think of not just someone that has mastered their emotions, but someone who deeply values their emotions, because it's so nurturing, it's so motherly, it's fluid. I'm picking up really big Cancer energy. It's the mother archetype. It is the womb, right? And that valuing of emotions is very much what we were talking about in the focus here, right? There's so much cup energy, but it's clarified by the Hierophant, which is going to be tradition, and in some cases like regulations, religion. It's sort of I'm picking up and sort of intuitively a little bit as well. It's the parts of spirit, right? The parts of our spiritual beings that we have kind of funneled into a structure. And that's come out in our cultures, in our societies, as a structure of organized religion. And it doesn't matter to me what you believe. I'm here to support all beliefs that lead you to your highest self. There are many streams leading to the same river, I personally believe. But I think what this is saying here in the unexpected is that there might be some stuff, some of you might have some religious trauma that you're working through. It's heavy. It's hard for me to say it. It's like I felt my throat sort of close up as I was saying that. There could be some aspects of yourself that you have been afraid to get in touch with maybe because the last time you were in touch with them, you were told by people that were supposed to be experts on the matter that you were wrong the way that you were, or the way that you were experiencing something. And for me, I'm kind of picking up that might surface this month for you in December, Capricorn. It might be something that you sort of have been pushing down until it gets to a point where it suddenly just comes up on its own, because you just sort of, you're releasing it, I think. And that's something, oftentimes in my own experience and the people I work with, I've noticed that to be the case, that a lot of the patterns that we hold deep inside of our subconscious, a lot of the traumas that have sort of informed the way that we move through the world, when we're going through a process of releasing those patterns and reprogramming, sometimes stuff that we thought that we were over just comes up, and we feel it so fully, and it has to happen in order for it to be released. So the way you don't see coming, I think that there's some kind of, just some kind of hurt that you've experienced around either spiritual people or spiritual communities that you've been around, and you didn't realize how much it was affecting you and maybe keeping you stuck in an old cycle, and that's coming to the surface this month. Take that as it resonates. If that's not for you, it's not for you. But the advice from Spirit is the Ace of Wands, and I'm trying to think. I think that was the same position as Virgo. It's clarified by the High Priestess. So Ace of Wands is going to be, again, the start of something. Look at this. You have 3. That's incredible. You have 3 of the 4 aces in this 10-card spread out of 78 cards. So that's pretty dope. Like, that's a good hand if you got playing cards, right? So I think it's ultimately going to be a really good month for you. But it's a new start with, I think, the way that you're approaching your intuition. Because we're talking about wand, the Ace of Wands being, this fiery, could be a passionate new start. Some of you could be experiencing that, but also I think it has more to do in this instance of just suddenly doing a drastic change in how you decide to approach something. And what is it that you're approaching? It's the High Priestess. It is your intuition. It is the divine essence that is in you. And when you look at the B and the J columns, or the pillars, like I talked about in Taurus's reading, it's this idea of this balancing, this integration, this getting in touch again with your own sense of truth and your own sense of the way that your spirit guides you. And the outcome, this is beautiful, is the Hangman, clarified by the 9 of Cups. The Hangman is about needing to see a different perspective. Like, you can look at this, he's like hanging upside down, but he's got this calmness about him. He's illuminated. He's maybe experiencing something akin to enlightenment based off of this new perspective. Which makes total sense to me, Capricorn, because we're talking about coming in, starting this new cycle, focusing on what's fulfilling you emotionally. You might not expect it, but some old hurt regarding the way that you connect with yourself, the way that you connect with your own intuition and your own, maybe even psychic abilities, I'm getting for some of you, that you've just sort of suppressed because you're just like, no. Like, these people that I learned all that from they hurt me, and so I don't do that anymore. I don't listen to those voices inside of me. I don't follow those impulses because I can't trust them or whatever. I think this is the trauma that you have. And as the advice is coming through, it's time, Capricorn, to take action on connecting with yourself in a different way. it's time to start trusting and giving room for some of those voices, because the potential outcome, my friends, is a new perspective that you're walking away with. And it's clarified by the Nine of Cups, which is wish fulfillment, right? And it's, I was talking about in my reading with Virgo how so much of the differentiating factors between especially with Cups and Pentacles, at least the energy that I receive from it, is the differentiating factors between the 9 and the 10 on both of those suits is that it's both abundance and wealth. It's both complete wish fulfillment and satisfaction. But the 9s is when it's you independently standing on your own, having achieved those. And then the 10 is when it's expansive and you've brought that with others, you sharing it with other people. Neither of them are bad, just two different scenarios. And one's not better than the other, I should say. But as you get this new perspective coming into this month and then into this whole new year, 2023, Capricorn, you're going to experience emotional fulfillment. You might start noticing things in your life that just weren't coming together, regardless of how much you were trying to strive for it to. You were hitting all this resistance. I think so much of that resistance was coming from you ultimately having this hurt over the ways that you connect with yourself and the ways you connect with your own spirit and your own sense of truth and your own convictions, and not just following the herd, but really listening and really seeking. Starting this new perspective, it's going to be fulfilling. It's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth moving through the hurt. It's really a beautiful reading. I'm going to pull a card from the Prism Oracle deck just to see if I can get a general overall energetic feel for the month for you, because this already feels very, very good for me. But what I love about this deck, Capricorn, is that it's so many of the cards are color and emotion associations, and I really found them to be powerful to elicit an emotional response. And sometimes, whatever comes out, I will have a really visceral response to it. And then as I analyze that and as I reflect on that, that leads me to realize that there's, something maybe that I thought I dealt with, but I really hadn't. Which seems very, very appropriate for this reading for you, Capricorn, because it's literally what we were talking about. So, Spirit, if I can get an energy clarification from this Oracle deck for the sign of Capricorn. Also, I wanted to mention whatever comes out, some of the cards can feel negative. Just be an observer. See what comes up for you. Again, if it elicits a really strong response for you, then I think it's, it's worth analyzing. It's worth that split second, right? That snapshot of you judging what it is that you're feeling, how it's making you feel, before your brain starts thinking, like what is your mind processing subconsciously about the card. Oh, I saw what was coming out. Yep. Yeah. Oh, wow. Wow. Sweetness. Yeah. It's really similar to the card that Virgo got, which was the love card. It has been tough. There's been a lot of stuff y'all have been moving through, Cap. A lot of happenings for the Capricorns. I probably will never say that again. That didn't sound... Hey-o. All right, thank you so much for being here, Capricorn. Last reading of the night, you get to see some of my sillies. It's such a pleasure to be in your energy, to read your energy. You can check out your other placements like I mentioned. And until next time, beautiful, beautiful Capricorns. I'll see you later.